Hey y'all, I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and today I have a Bible journaling process video for you. I'm going to be showing you how I like to use printables in my Bible journaling, and to do that I'm going to use this set from Shawn and Clingerman. It is called Wait Out the Wilderness and it's available over in the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray shop. I have the ephemera set as well as the printed papers that she created to go along with the set. I will be working in 2 Corinthians 12:9 through 10, talking about how our weakness is made perfect in Christ. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. And I've pulled a few acrylic paints that kind of go with the color scheme of the set, and I just wanted to show you how I like to work through printable sets. So I will put you on fast forward and we will get going. Let's talk about how to make fussy cutting a little more enjoyable. Whenever I am fussy cutting, I put on some great music or my favorite TV show and just try to relax. Try cutting things out in big batches. It's much more enjoyable to have your pieces cut out before you sit down to journal. Not all scissors are created equal, so invest in a good pair and cutting will be more enjoyable. To get a cleaner cut, make sure you're moving your paper and not your scissors. Scissors should stay straight. Unless you're using a machine, the cuts are not going to be perfect. Embrace the process and let go of perfection. To create a background for this page, I used one of my favorite techniques, which I call the swipe technique. And basically I'm using a paint card, putting a little bit of acrylic paint on it and just swiping it down my page in 3 different places. Acrylic paint is great for working in Bibles because it doesn't bleed through and you still get rich colors. Also, it dries really fast. So I'm able to swipe that first color, kind of a minty green, and then come back. This is a tool from, I believe, Dina Wakely, that is used for painting, and so I'm adding little purple stripes, and this just lays down some color on my page. You can see I worked in groups of 3s, and this is going to give me a place to kind of anchor the printables that I'd like to put across the paper. Once I'm sure that the acrylic paint is dry, then I'm going to start moving the printable pieces around my paper. To me, this is one of the big pros of working with these digital images, is that you can move and play and just see how you like arranging things. When you're working with stickers, you can't really move them as easily, and I like all of the options that come with these printable sets. There's so many choices and ways and pieces and just things that you can use, and so to me this is one of the most fun parts, is kind of playing with the arrangement. My original plan was to have this little mason jar of butterflies and then to use the other butterflies in the set look like they're kind of flying out of the jar, that they're growing, becoming free, and that really correlated well with the feelings I was having of anxiety, like those butterflies in your stomach, and just letting them out. There's a lot of anxiety in my life right now as my kids have started school, and it's time for me to, for lack of a better term, just decide what I want to be when I grow up. What do I want my life to look like? And I'm having a lot of anxiety about that. So this set and this verse came at the perfect time, and it's one that I've looked at over and over. The verse that I'm looking at is in 2 Corinthians 12, and it says, "My grace is sufficient for you, my power is perfected in weakness. Therefore, I will most gladly boast all the more about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may reside in me. So I take pleasure in weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and in difficulties for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong." You can see me here customizing my printable pieces. You can certainly use the pieces just as they are, but I tend to like to add a little bit of detail, something that personalizes them. And what I'm choosing to do now is add a coat of clear Nuvo drops that has glitter in it. It's a color called White Blizzard, and I thought the sparkling mason jar at first seemed really logical to me, like it was actually glass. And then I thought, why not have sparkle for the butterflies too? Because if you know me, I am all about the sparkle. And for me, those little personalization elements, those ways to make these printable projects your own are really important, and it makes it customized to your style and the things that call to your creativity. Here you can see I'm starting to get pieces arranged on my page and adhering them down. I use a Tombow Tape Runner adhesive, the permanent one. I use this on any paper pieces that I'm adding into my Bible. It's worked really well for me. It's been very secure, and I've gone through several Bibles at this point and nothing has fallen out that hasn't gone through, I don't know, maybe a child pulling it out, but that's a little bit different. But it seems to be a really strong tape runner, so I've really enjoyed it. I did adhere that one piece that says it's okay to let go, and I only put the tape runner on part of it. That way I can lift up the edge and still read the text underneath. As I've said before, this Bible is strictly for journaling. It's not the Bible that I study from in my quiet time in the mornings, and so I usually don't mind covering up text, but when I can avoid it, I do try to. And so in that case, it is a large die cut piece, and so I just adhered part of it so that it could be lifted and I could read the text beneath. You can see I'm using those 3 color blocked areas that I created with the acrylic paint to kind of serve as anchors for my digital images. I always like to mix the digital images with some of my own artwork, in this case just a very simple background, and that way it once again personalizes it, but the background color kind of provides an anchor, a place for the images to live, so they don't look like they're just randomly plopped on the page, but they're kind of serving a purpose on that page. This page came together really simply. I'm just going to add a cluster of tabs up here at the top and then some journaling after I underline the verse. Not every page has to take a really long time. This page actually has a lot of detail because of these beautiful cut files, but it did not take long for me to do. I think in real time this page took under 30 minutes. The sentiment that Shawn included in this set that said just keep growing, and for me and the anxiety I'm feeling around trying to come up with what the rest of my life might look like now that I am not taking care of little ones at home all of the time, I liked the realization that I don't have to have it all figured out right now. All I have to do is just keep growing in my faith, in my journey as a person, just keep growing and taking the next right step, and I just don't have to have it all figured out at this point. Here I'm going to use a stamp block to add some lines for journaling. I generally cannot write in a straight line, so the lines always help me, but you'll see here what happens is that I actually can't draw a straight line either. So the lines are a little wonky, but that's okay. I am not focused on perfection for these entries. I'm focused on the words, and in all honesty, this is one of the most enjoyable entries that I've done in a while. I really loved it. I loved the colors. I just loved the feelings I had when I was putting it together and the way it made me reflect on my own life and what's happening in my life these days. And so I underlined the verse, and then I'm going to take some time to add some journaling about the anxiety I'm feeling and how really as I work through that anxiety with God's help, it's bringing glory to Him. So I'm not going to try to hide the fact that I'm uncomfortable or the fact that things might feel hard right now. As I'm wrapping up this page, let me know below where are some of your favorite places to get digital print and pray, or just digital files that you use in your journaling. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as that bell notification button. I hope you have a fantastic day, and as always, keep it creative.